Hi everyone, and welcome to Heal Endometriosis Naturally with Wendy K. Laidlaw. Wendy has spent the last 2 years helping women with various stages of endometriosis to heal naturally after putting her condition into remission. After her own healing success from stage 4 endometriosis and adenomyosis, she's inspired to heal others, and her goal is to help some of the 175 million women know that there is another way other than painkillers, drugs, or surgery. This is the place to be for real talk with real people for real results, so you can learn how to heal your endometriosis naturally. Please note that the opinions expressed in this program may represent options, but are not a substitute for proper medical care. Before starting any new healthcare program, we recommend you consult with a health professional.
Hey, good afternoon everyone, it's Wendy K. Laidlaw here from Heal Endometriosis Naturally. As always, I hope that this finds you well. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit more of intro into this podcast this week. It's always a joy when my EndoBoss alumni, women that have completed the EndoBoss Academy Foundation and Advanced programs, come on and are confident enough and courageous enough to share their journey and to share it with you so that they can inspire you to know that A, that there's another way, and B, that you're not alone and that there is actually an alternative out there. So what's even more enjoyable is when my EndoBoss alumni come back at 12 months or 18 months or 24 months or 2 or 3 years later and share their progress, because what I get particularly excited about and I pride myself on is it's not just about putting the condition in remission. It's not only about keeping it in remission, but it's also about the women who've come through my programs finding their voice for the first time, learning to thrive and flourish, learning to develop and grow into other areas of their life as well, and really set out to live the life that they were destined to do. So as I say, for me, it's a joy when they come back and they give me updates that I can then share with you. And again, I hope that you really find all of this incredibly inspiring as to what is possible. A, you know this already, your body is always wanting to heal itself. And B, what we need to do is, as part of the programs and the core of the programs, is trying to identify the root causes of what is stopping endometriosis going into remission. What is stopping your immune system from healing, which is what it always wants to do. So we look at it as if if the body's always wanting to heal itself, well then we say, well, what is stopping that process? So this is why, again, I share these podcasts with you, share these success stories with you, and again, these follow-up success stories as well. So I'm going to let you hear from Joanna and Gabrielle herself in a few minutes, but again, I thought I would just give you a little more background as to Joanna's history, if you haven't already watched or listened to her interview. So Joanna is from America. She is back to share an update with us after her initial success story that she recorded with me in September 2018. Now, Joanna had been told by many times by doctors, gynaecologists, medical professionals, after many failed IVF treatments and even dyes been injected into fallopian tubes, that she'd never have a baby. She was in her mid-30s at the time, so it was devastating for her to hear this because she'd been trying for some time. Obviously, over and above that, she'd been suffering for over 15 years with pain around ovulation, intense period pain, menstrual cycle pain scores of up to 8 and 10 with her monthly cycles. She had a number of cysts, ovarian pain with bowel movements, bladder pressure, amongst many, many other symptoms, as you know, as a woman with endometriosis. How many there are. Yet what was fantastic was, despite her being told by all the medical professionals that she'd never have any more babies, she refused to accept that and followed her instincts, which her instincts drove her onto Google, typed in heal endometriosis naturally because she was searching something, thinking there had to be another way, and I'm so pleased that she found me and found my book. And she decided to take a different path. Now, I think at the time, you'll hear in the interview, her family were saying, you know, what are you doing working with some women in Scotland online? People just didn't comprehend it, didn't understand it. But full credit to Joanna. She just persevered and kept going. Something in her was telling her she had to do something differently. And you may recall from Joanna's original story that after turning her back on the medical field, that she ended up, that treated her so poorly, she sought out the help of many alternative health professionals that are out there as well, dietitians, nutritionalists, naturopaths, functional medicine practitioners, etc., who, you know, are all incredibly well-meaning, of course, in their approaches, but sadly they don't fully understand the complex nature of endometriosis as a condition and the multimodal approach that is needed to actually address what we call the 5 Ps or the 5 poisons to heal naturally. And as I say, it was only after Joanna had finished reading my book, which if you haven't already got a copy, then you can buy it on Amazon at full price, or you can go to my website and get a free paperback copy, just pay the shipping. But my book is called Heal Endometriosis Naturally Without Painkillers, Drugs or Surgery, if you don't already know it. So she read my book and she started to make some significant progress. In fact, she emailed me to tell me that actually her doctors couldn't believe what was happening and there was no explanation for it. Yet she was obviously trying to educate them at the same time as trying to heal herself. So as I say, she did contact a functional medicine practitioner during this time who prescribed a series of supplements that ironically would end up reversing all the good progress that she'd started to make following what was in my book. And she started to get worse and worse, and that's when again she emailed me and reached out to me saying she was confused, didn't know what to do. And that was when she then emailed me again about working together and applied to work with me. Now, when we first spoke, Joanna was in severe debilitating pain, 8 out of 10 as I say, and she had to sadly resign from her full-time teaching profession. She was very depressed, very down, very anxious and very scared. She, as I say, applied to work with me and within 12 weeks started to see some very significant improvements. In fact, within the first 10 days, we identified some key elements that she was taking that I know to be very inflammatory for women with endometriosis. And not often many people know that, but with all the number of women I've helped now, I was able to identify exactly some aspects that I knew that if she swapped out or removed would have a significant impact, which it did. Now, there is actually a photograph. If you haven't already seen it, you can go on to healendometriosisnaturallycourse.com, and if you scroll down under Joanna's testimonial video, you'll see a before and after photograph of her intestines. Now, it's not often we get before and after photographs. Normally, the results of the success is the reduction and elimination of pain, and obviously, you know, signs and symptoms as well. But on this occasion, we are able to share Joanna's before and after photographs. So do go on and have a look at that. They're phenomenal. What you'll see on the left hand side before she starts to work with me is just how dark and ill her intestines are, and then you'll see after she's finished working with me how clean and pink and clean and clear her intestines are afterwards. So, and then as I say, she fell pregnant some months after finishing the program with Gabrielle. Now, although her and her husband had tried to fall pregnant naturally, it didn't work initially, so they sought the advice of some IVF professionals who confirmed actually, and to her joy, that Joanna was actually producing an abundance of eggs and all her cysts and endometrial deposits had disappeared. It was actually established it wasn't her that was the issue. There was a low sperm count issue, and they were also told that she only had less than a 20% chance of falling pregnant. Yet they did fall pregnant, and now Gabrielle is fabulous evidence of what ultimate self-care with support and specific set of protocols and guidelines can do. So now Joanna shares her updates some 18 months on and how she can confidently ensure her daughter never has to ever endure the pain and suffering of endometriosis that she did for so long. And even as I say that gives me goosebumps, because I know myself with my daughter will never ever have to go through what I went through, which was over 33 years of endometriosis and adenomyosis and cysts and pain and suffering and bloating and multiple surgeries. And now Joanna can ensure confidently that her daughter, who is only 7 months old, will never have to go through that again. So I hope you enjoy listening to this. I hope that if you have been struggling to fall pregnant, or you are still struggling with endometriosis or adenomyosis in any way, shape or form, that again, these stories, I share them with you to inspire you. So wherever you are in your journey, A, never ever give up. B, do reach out for help and support. there is an abundance of support and information available to you, and equally you can apply to work with me through the EndoBoss Academy as well. So I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to meeting you at some point on your journey. Hey Joanna, how are you?
Hi, it's been forever.
It has. Who is this beautiful girl that I see?
Gabrielle.
Oh my goodness, how beautiful.
Thank you. She's getting very used to video calls.
Ah, well, what an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, she is our little blessing.
Oh my goodness, it's so lovely to see you're both looking so well.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, this is very, feels quite emotional to see you with your beautiful little daughter in your lap.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. We were just thinking about it the other day, saying, I can't believe 7 months ago we were pregnant, and now there's this baby we never thought we would have. So it's pretty amazing.
That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy for you both.
Thank you.
So happy. Yeah. So, well, thank you for coming on, because I know that so many women have loved your photographs of your before and after intestines, as you know, you love to share. And obviously your story and things as well has been so inspiring to so many women. I get emails regularly and messages and things like that. So it's
so glad to help people.
Yeah. So how long has it been since we last spoke? I'm trying to think.
I have no idea. Over a year. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I think well before we were even expecting, so maybe we're almost going on to 2 years. I don't know. I'm thinking
it's maybe about 2 year mark, because I remember not long after the program you were like, pregnant, and I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
Time goes by really fast.
It does, because I remember all the hospital visits and all the dye you got put through your fallopian tubes, and all the times you were told you'd never have children and it would be impossible. And hey, look at this.
Right, nothing's impossible, right?
What's that?
Then nothing is impossible now.
Yeah, exactly. And she is just so beautiful. I literally can't get enough of her.
Like, we'll be seeing her the whole time. I have no one to pass her off to.
Oh no, she is central stage to us talking today. It's amazing. Well, thank you for coming on and chat, because as I say, it's women like you, it's stories like yours that help women become endobosses. You know, you are the epitome of an endoboss now, and I've been saying to my endobosses, my alumni, you know, like, come back every year, come and tell me what you're doing, what you're up to, what's happening. Because people love saying, so where are they now? What are they doing now?
And you do forget. I happened to come across one of my food diaries like last week, before I even considered doing this. And we were shocked at how much pain I was in, because I don't even remember anymore.
I know, and I think that was always my thing. I was saying recently in one of my podcasts that I need to make sure that I email through the opening questionnaire and like remind everyone how much pain and how ill they were, because you forget, and you think when you're in it you would never forget how ill you were, would you?
Yeah, it's like childbirth, you forget.
Yes, which is just as well, otherwise you'd never have any more children. But, exactly. But so what was that like, even finding those food journals and trying to remember the pain?
It was just really surreal. Like, I actually started trying to because I didn't even keep them. It was in an email from you that I had sent to you. So I started searching my email to kind of look back and try to find kind of the progress, and because I did have a woman email me as well, or message me asking me if how the program was and if it'd be worth doing. So that's what got me searching through my emails for, no, I was in pain and now I'm not, but I couldn't remember how much pain. So it was really, really neat to look back and see how many weeks, and it seemed like it wasn't going well. And then I have emails from you telling me, like, don't give up and you need to be patient.
Yeah, that all sounds familiar to any of the women going through my programs right now. That's a familiar. I feel like a parrot. Don't you
Yeah.
ever give up. It's
Well, you just want it to be done so
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, it probably took me about a year to really be pain free completely, but
Yeah.
in that time it felt like forever. And now I'm like, that was nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been good. It's been pretty neat looking back. I haven't gotten the guts yet to read my journal, but I'm pretty sure I will see some tear jerking things in there, what I was going through.
Yeah, I think if we get you back again, we're gonna incentivize you to go back and just dip your little toe into the journals, because that's a part. I think through the journaling you might grieve and process some things of the past and things, but the actual journey of putting your endometriosis in remission is a journey in itself. It's sometimes I've actually got 3 women coming through my EndoBoss coach training program at the moment, and part of their homework is to go back through their journal at each week that we're working on, and training them to be a coach, to go back and remember where they were. And actually their homework is to write a letter to themselves from where they are now to who they were when they started. And then a letter to their coachee, if you like, when they start, because I think we don't want to go back and remember it, but actually you forget how far you've come. I mean, I remember our, your journey through this, our relationship through this, like it was yesterday. I mean, it's embedded in my cells because I knew what you were going through and how desperate you were to get well and fall pregnant.
Yeah. Well, even the desperation, like any little pain I have now, it's not even endo related, it's surgical related.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do now about that, but it was like you look back and go, why did I not just wait?
I know, but to be fair to you, you were under a lot of pressure, by the medical field at that time as well. And hey, look, we wouldn't have got these like Gucci photos.
Right? There you go.
I'm like,
for you, Wendy. I did it for you.
You did it for the program. You did it for the greater good of EndoBosses. Because when I'm like, look at Joanna's intestines, we don't normally get photos like this. And I remember you saying, Wendy, you're going to get all excited when you see these photos, you know.
And that's and that one lady that emailed me, and she said, well, how do I know you're just not saying it works, Well, maybe Wendy's paying me to
Yeah.
And I said, no, I ended up giving in and doing a surgery, and it was through that surgery that I got the news of there was nothing to clean up in you because it was all gone.
Yeah.
So so that was the one benefit for sure of the surgery, but I've learned to be more patient.
Well, that's it. I think because the natural way takes time, it takes time for the cells to regenerate. It takes time for the immune system to mop up and clean the endometrial deposits and things like that. But I think, you did come through the other end of that, and you did see results, and she's sitting on your lap now, which is amazing. And, because you had to give up your work, you had to stop being a teacher, didn't you? And
yep, I stopped teaching, I stopped my photography, all of that came back. I mean, now with her, it's a whole nother reason I've stopped teaching.
but you were able to go back to your teaching, weren't you?
Yeah.
And, you were able to
I was back enjoying outdoor activities and going out with friends, and life just went back to normal. And that's why I think I forgot where I was at.
Yeah. That's right. I think it's as you say, it's like, childbirth, you kind of just don't want to go back and think about it. But I also remember you telling me about your husband as well, and how he had obviously a bit resistant to some of the food and suggestions, and then he'd gone somewhere, and then he didn't like what he was eating because it didn't taste as good quality, and suddenly he was on board with the program as well because he recognized what was going in his body, what he was eating.
Continued eating like that since. I mean, it's been years now, and we're still eating the same way because we feel so much better just eating healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have the occasional French fries, I won't lie. But
everything in moderation is fine. Just no wheat. That's the big no-no. But that's
for me, it's wheat and soy. I noticed pretty quickly when I was pregnant, I kind of gave into a lot of my cravings. I did have a really big gap of eating anything, and I did cheat on the wheat, and within a week I was feeling horrible. So we stopped the wheat, but even when I would eat soy, I would start feeling not super great. So you really, before, I would never be able to be so in tune with knowing, hey, I just ate this and this is how I'm feeling now. I wouldn't have thought about it that way. So it's even just helped with our whole lifestyle. It's changed the way we live. And even this little girl, because having a daughter, we've been, as a team together, we've decided that she's not going to have certain things because I know what they do to the female body.
Absolutely.
And I know that it's potentially genetic. What I had. So she has not had any wheat. And I know that might put some people's arms up in the air and that, but I want her to not at the age of 13 or whatever she gets her period. I don't want it to be a painful experience for her.
No, absolutely not.
That's been for me like most exciting, that I can actually like help my daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was the same. I mean, my daughter has no pain and when she was starting to look like she was, I was almost at the end of my journey. So I was able to say, hey, no, swap this out, look at this, look at that. And I've saved my daughter a lifetime of in and out of surgery. I had 2 mums email me last week for their daughters who are at age 23 under pressure to have a hysterectomy.
Oh,
exactly.
Terrible.
And of course, we know all the side effects of these things, but yes, to be able to have that positive influence and impact on our daughters, through our own journeys, we're able to heal our own bodies and be able to prevent our own daughters have to go through the same pain and suffering. Wow.
Well, I even remember when you had interviewed me after you had gotten the pictures and bursting into tears, and I was telling you when I first got my period how hard it was, and you thinking that was normal. And so for me it's exciting that her normal will be normal. It's not going to be, I mean, hopefully, we don't know what will happen.
But you know now what to look for if there was any even inklings, any little gremlins of signs. And that's the thing as well. Now you understand your body, you know what to avoid. The food I refer to as the 5 Ps now: the produce, the products, the property, past, and people. There's all these different, so you'll be able to know as a mom, intuitively tune into your daughter. But exactly, even just with the wheat and the soy, which, as you know, causes so much irritation, aggravation, and inflammation.
And it's in everything. It's so crazy. Even baby food, I've been making all her food now because I was shocked what I was reading on the packaging for babies.
No, it's fantastic. And it's a testament to you that you're still pain-free and you've got this little bundle of joy in your arms. It's so fantastic.
Yeah, I'm still waiting even if I do get little bits, I mean, every once in a while I have things that remind me of, oh yeah, I need to keep maintaining things. It's not definitely learned it. It's not a journey that just ends.
No, it's an everyday, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to continuously maintain it. But as soon as I feel something, like you said, I know what to do. And I know how to get myself back on track. So.
And what does that feel like to have that empowerment, to be a boss of your endometriosis?
Great. It's great. I'm actually the one going into I still do my once a month, sometimes every 2 weeks, I'll go in for my myofascial massages. I mean, I don't have a ton of adhesions, but they asked me why I'm doing it. I said, I'm maintaining my body. So I've become I educate my care team. About myself, and that's been really great to be able to do that. And they don't question anything. They go, oh wow, you really know your body. Everybody, all my doctors, oh, you really know your body. So that's pretty exciting to get that control given back to me from the medical field.
Yeah, exactly, because that's very scary when you give up that control to strangers in a white coat that could be tinkering around with your body and you've got no idea what you're going to be left with at the end.
Right. Well, you trust them, right? So exactly. So that's been great. So I don't really look at myself as a EndoBoss, but
well, that's the name that I think in the past kind of year and a half, there were so many women coming through, and I felt like they needed, in fact, we got medals now, that brass medals with
Oh, I missed out on that one.
well, you never know. If you come to one of my live events, we may bring you up on stage and award you with a medal. I think every single woman with endometriosis deserves a medal because they've been to war, they fought so many battles, you know.
Yeah.
So it's that recognition. But yeah, that was about a year and a half ago when I was thinking, yeah, I kind of want to really like give a stamp and a name and a label that women can be proud of, you know, an EndoBoss. They've become a boss of their endometriosis. So you are one of my EndoBoss alumni. That's your official title now, you see.
That's exciting.
Exactly. So what does life look like for you now? You know, because again, you know, you're clearly out there, you're saying you're going out there and you're doing stuff. So
Yeah.
what freedom has this brought you?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Currently, well, we are in quarantine, so we have no freedoms right now.
Yes, of course. Like the rest of the globe.
Right. But we I don't, it just gave me back a bit of, I don't know if you can hear me over here.
She's telling us what's been going on, literally. Is it like,
I think the biggest thing is her. So I know I guess we really lost contact after the program was over, but when I was told I couldn't have kids, and then we did the program, I never really did any other follow-up because I wasn't going to do another surgery to see anything. So we decided to try to have children and still was having no success. So we ended up doing fertility treatments for her.
yeah.
And it was not because of my endometriosis. At first I thought it was. That was what I was telling the doctors. Well, I used to have endometriosis. I was told this. I feel better, but I don't know what it's done to me.
Yeah.
And during the program with you, they could see stuff in ultrasounds. Like we could see the cysts. We knew I had stuff going on. And when you do fertility treatments, you're getting ultrasounds like every week. You're going in. And nothing was showing up with me. My egg production was great. Everything was great. It ended up, it was the other side of the relationship that we were having problems. And I know it's horrible. Hopefully he never sees this.
he'll never see this, no.
I was actually really like excited that it wasn't me that was the problem this time.
Yeah, and I think that's really worth stopping and kind of like paying attention because it was so stressful for you. I remember how upset, how inadequate you felt as a woman. You know, it's like you were trying so hard, you wanted this so badly. And isn't that amazing that you had got yourself to this point where everything, there was no cysts, they'd all gone, everything was okay inside, and it's actually a low sperm count, which again is very common nowadays.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it was before it was a dual factor, and this time it wasn't, and that was pretty neat to hear. So the doctor had sat me down after we were ready to do the transfer, and they kind of go over with you why things are the way they are, and that's what he had told me. He goes, it's not you at all. He goes, you have no issues. You're perfect condition. It was him, and I just remember sitting there just kind of trying to hold in like a big smile because as horrible as it was like, this is like a weight off of me. Yeah. Because being the female and not being able to have children was like really hard.
Yeah, especially because you were, I remember you being very upset, you know, being told by various doctors that like you would never have children because things were so.
And that was because of a surgery too. We had this, so they physically went in and saw how much damage endometriosis had done. Yeah. So it's not like I was told I couldn't have children and it was never me. It was always my husband. It was me too. So and we did one transfer and we got her, and they told us it was like just a 20% chance of success, and we had no problem. Everything went so
she's screaming with joy. It's like, yay, because I was coming, whether you wanted me or no. I was coming. I was an EndoBoss waiting to come out.
For me, that was the biggest like amazing thing that came out of the program. Amazing. To be able to, regardless of how we had our child, we were able to have her. And to hear those doctors who, that's what they specialize in, fertility, telling me, you're in perfect condition. Like, everything is great in there for you.
Amazing. So it's a shame you didn't get them to put that in writing so you could frame it.
I don't think he would like that. He would, my husband probably like pull that down pretty quickly.
Yeah, rip it into tiny pieces. But at least then you could take a photo and keep looking at it and going, yay, I'm perfect.
But then since then, I mean, the pregnancy all went well, and I was able to still be active and no pain. So my only things I had to worry about was taking care of myself while, you know, carrying a child.
Yeah.
And now that he's here, we're going for walks again. I'm doing my photography again. So
Amazing.
life just kind of went back to normal.
Fantastic. So
So,
what would you say? What would you say to any woman like listening to this? Like, so this is kind of like 2 years down the line. I mean, when you reached out to me, you were in a bad way. I mean, you were, you know, in and out of hospital and high levels of pain, like 9 out of 10.
Desperate. I never would have, and I think I told you this when I first met you, was I am not one to just like go on the internet and try to find some resource to help me. And everyone thought I was crazy when I said I have this lady from Scotland helping me. That wasn't me. But I'm so glad I did it. Like, I don't know, I just tell her, you can't give up, and it does get better, and you do forget.
Yeah.
And you get your life back.
Yeah. So, and it does take time. And I think that's the thing as well. It does take time. Because we're also impatient. And if it's not happening, and that's why the appeal of surgery is so big, because you think, oh, go in surgery, clean me up, I'll be on my way. But actually it's not getting to the root causes. And what's been fantastic is, you know, you've got to the root causes, and look, you're still, you know, living the life that you want to lead.
Oh, it's been great. And the surgeries, I mean, like I said, the surgeries actually have done me more harm than good.
Yeah.
Because the scar tissue from that's the pain I feel. I feel it on my incisions.
Yeah.
So I just, if you can hold off, you just need to try to keep holding on those things, and just keep trying to, because I think I had started off just going with what I read in your book, and then you added new things to help me, and when I felt like those weren't helping, you added more. I mean, there's always like another option.
Yeah, there's all these layers of coming down, because I think you'd started off well with the book, and then I think you'd got a naturopath or a nutritionist, and they'd given you DHEA, which of course increases estrogen in the body. So you'd started with this real, like, you emailed me going, the book's amazing, I've had big progress, and then bang, you're like, it's not working, I'm regressing, what's happening? And then that's when you joined the program, and that's when I actually have a magnifying glass now, that I have everything under the magnifying glass. And that's even just with your opening application form, your opening questionnaire, that's when I was like, holy moly, you should not be having that. And that's obviously why there's been that regression.
Yeah. And you don't know, because again, it's just, you go with what someone tells you to do. So.
Yeah. Well, again, not many people understand endometriosis. They might be great naturopaths, functional medicine, nutritionalists. And of course, in your mind, you're going, oh yeah, in my mind, I'm going, oh, well, I'm going to someone who's doing naturally. But unless they have that other layer of understanding of endometriosis, because our bodies are just a whole nother level of sensitivity, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's exactly like what I've learned, and it's just made a big difference in just everything. So yeah, I don't know if I even answered your question. I'm just doing everything I want to do. I don't know what else to.
No, I mean
central around her now. So of course my biggest stresses are getting sleep and trying to fit in a little bit of life with a baby. But I'm glad that that's all I have to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. And as you say, knowing that you have that knowledge now, that you can prevent her from having to go through all that pain and suffering, because I think your original video is very moving, because it was so upsetting, you know, that everything, you know, the fact that from a young age you'd been in pain, and that had been normalized as if like that's just part of being a woman, is being in pain. And I think that's what's really hard, you know, is for people to sort of recognize and realize that's not normal, and that's not part of being a woman.
Yeah. And I think it also gave me a confidence working on like with you with it that I didn't have before, like because I wouldn't talk to people about it.
Yes.
And now I'm open. If a woman comes to me and I hear that she's like, you know, just in talking that, oh, my period's coming, I'm in so much pain, or I am so much more open to talk about it now and say, you know, there are ways, like it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Even with men. I'll talk to men too about it.
Yeah, but that's fantastic because like, and I do remember you feeling almost shamed into silence because of the condition. And equally when you were with doctors and things, even just hearing you say now that like, you know, I know my body, and that's what's a beautiful element of the program is having the confidence to know your body, having confidence to know you, and then being able to interact with people in a way where you're not shamed into silence or, you know,
but also being like, I think a lot of, and hopefully women who in your program are doing this, but like, it's really important to get a support system. Like, I'm glad my husband did come on board, and it did, like you said, it took a little bit to get him there. But even now, coming out of his mouth was even, we need to make sure we do everything to make sure Gabrielle is okay as she gets older. And he was so grateful for all the knowledge that I've gained through the program. But when we found out we were having a girl, like there's that stress isn't there. I'm not even stressed about it.
Which is amazing in itself, isn't it? I mean, it's just to have that knowledge.
Even if I'm not there when if she, let's say he's out with her and something happens, he even knows how to help her with her period. So it's something we never would have thought that he would be so involved, but it's so good to have a support system.
Yeah, and I think because he was starting, as I say, when you told me he'd been away somewhere and like turned his nose up at what was presented to him food-wise, suddenly something shifted in him because he's like, no, I want to eat good food. I don't want to eat this rubbish. I thought like,
and it's not just for endometriosis, it's for everything.
Yeah. And it's that rippling effect throughout the whole family. And here now another generation, you're breaking that cycle of suffering, basically. You know, into the next generation and passing on this information and education. So Gabrielle can also tell her daughters, and you can tell your granddaughters and things, you know, because I think, as you said right at the beginning, this concept of women are supposed to suffer. And I think that's a belief that's very common when women start, is like, I always felt I was meant to suffer. You know, that was kind of like my belief about myself. But no, you're not meant to suffer, and you're not meant to be in pain all the time, you know?
And that's my whole family, every female, all my cousins, everybody that I've always known, it's painful. So it's definitely something that ran in our family. Gabrielle is the first granddaughter for my parents. So it's kind of neat that I have that opportunity to kind of stop it with her. That here's another girl and she can actually end that pain that like my mom had, my grandma had, everybody had, and that's why it was normalized in my family, because they all like suffered through their periods. It was completely normal. Why would you think it's not supposed to be painful? And now here is like the opportunity to like fix that for like generations, which would be so amazing.
Exactly. And the thing is, and that's all down to your hard work and initially taking that leap of faith, having that courage to do something different, and ultimately follow your instincts, because you've got very strong instincts. And although there was people round about you, doctors, family kind of thing, why are you dealing with that Scottish woman and what are you doing, all that kind of stuff, something in you was like, no, I need the medical way is not going to get me well, and I need to do something different. So that courage that you took has paid massive dividends for you.
No, and you do have to believe in it. You have to have the faith that it's going to help you, and you have to put the effort towards it. And I think a lot of people don't realize they will probably face criticism, because we're still in a time where natural is not really the go-to way, especially if it's that slow. You know, why would you just take this medication and you'll feel better right away? But like you said, it doesn't treat the symptoms. It just treats the symptoms, not what's actually happening.
It just doesn't get, it tries to manage symptoms at best, you know, because invariably, you know, there's other side effects and adhesions, and there's some of the emails I get with the stories of, women having to have colostomy bags and all sorts of things because of bowel perforations. And I mean, I can't even go there because it's so upsetting as to the damage that is done to women by some of these treatments. I mean, the abject side effects. So, but I think natural's not the woo-woo. It's the medicine that, if you like, is the woo-woo, because natural just happens naturally. This isn't like some fandangle kind of herbs and stuff. This is just working with your body and working with nature, basically. And
I hope that any woman that does the program kind of sees that, and just, you're literally resetting your body. And if you're 20 years old, if you're 30, 40 years old, that's a lot of resetting to do.
Yes.
So it takes time. And so that's how we've always looked at it now, is that we're in a reset. So even if I get any type of pain from anything, not even just from, because I don't really have the endometriosis pain, but any pain in my body, we sit down and we actually go, what did we do? What did we eat? What happened? And we go through what we call a reset in our house. And
I love that. I absolutely love that, because that's how it should be. The fact you're stopping, listening to your body, paying attention, and you have enough confidence now, you have enough understanding now to understand that it'll be one of the 5 things that have triggered something in your body, and your body's trying to communicate with you, which is amazing.
So no, it's been really great. And it's been nice not having to, I mean, I'm doing the massages just to do them and to do some maintenance. And we've been in quarantine now for, I don't know, 2 months now. And I haven't gone to do anything, but I don't feel like pain hasn't gone and shot through the roof because I haven't done it.
No.
Whereas before, if I didn't do the adhesive releases, then I was like dying. I couldn't move. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just excited, and I don't think about it and I don't remember.
Well, I'm so proud of you for maintaining what you achieved. First of all, having the courage to do it, taking that leap of faith, listening to yourself, carrying on when I'm sure there was times you wanted to get up, which I know there were. Everybody has the same thoughts, like, is it going to work for me? And, can I really do this? And of course, the key thing is helping women just to keep going, because the body, like planting a seed, it takes time for those cells to repair and regenerate and to address what the underlying causes are. So I'm proud of you for maintaining that, keeping going with that. And look at beautiful Gabrielle as well. She's just an absolute sweetheart. I just want to pick her up and squeeze her and give her lots of kisses. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
She is special. So she made it all worth it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to pause the recording in a minute so that we can have our private chat. I'm sure you don't want the world to know about that, what we're going to be talking about next. But it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to our listeners. Have over 35,000 downloads now, so lots of people listening to the podcast. People, it means a lot to them sharing your success, because I think there'd be so many women, as you know, when you were in that particular point in your life, you're like, somebody just give me something to hang on to, because I feel like I'm in a dark place. You just want that little light at the end of the tunnel.
You feel like you're alone because you get told, like you said, that, well, my period's fine, this is fine, why are you in so much pain? So I'm glad if this can help even one person.
Exactly.
I'm happy, so.
Yeah, and as I say, your pictures were amazing. If for those who are listening, if you've not checked out Joanna's intestines, you go to healendometriosisnaturallycourse.com and you will see before and after pictures, which is something like, as I say, we don't ordinarily get a sample of, but Joanna and I were terribly excited to actually see the photographic evidence of what this program can do. But Joanna, thank you so much. Gabrielle, thank you so much for coming on. It means the world to all of us. And
thank you.
To your health.
Thanks for listening to Heal Endometriosis Naturally with Wendy K. Laidlaw. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and rate us. If you're interested in learning more, you can download your top 5 jumpstart tips at healendometriosisnaturally.com and jump on the VIP email list. Remember to keep you number 1, for the world needs a healthy you.